What's up, guys? What is it, a Wednesday, man? I almost said Thursday. What's up, guys? Man, I just got into the office. What a day. Man, we end up going to a job where we're going to have to get more manpower for tomorrow to complete this job. And I went out and did some courses today. It was put it like this, it was a very good, productive day. But guys, you know what? On my way to the shop, I was thinking about something. The reason why a lot of us, especially in entrepreneurship, for those that own their own businesses, you know why a lot of us don't make as much money as we can. And guys, I was thinking about this on my way to my shop because I had three people sign up today for my coaching program. And I remember when I first started my coaching program almost 2.5 years ago, I started out at $1,000, right? And I never forget, there was one of my, at the time, he had signed up. What's my buddy's name? He's up in Michigan. I forgot his name. But anyway, when I was charging $1,000, I remember Justin Pate. Shout out to Justin Pate, really cool guy. So after Justin made his payment, and he told me, he said, Courtney, man, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. $1,000. This is what he said to me, guys. He said, $1,000, man, that's a fucking joke. And guys, I ain't gonna lie. It kind of made me like, I felt bad. I really did. Like, man, like $1,000. It's like, I'm not saying it's a lot of money, and I'm not saying it's a little amount of money, but it's like So anyway, that really hit me, when he told me that. So when he told me that, guys, and I kind of sat on it for about 2 or 3 days, I said, you know what, I go up to 2,000 because, even in my, my primary business, which I'm going to be moving more to the coaching and mentorship full time next year. I went through the same struggles. I started out as, as a low price, service provider. And then, I never forget, I used to have, certain clients used to ask me, Courtney, for this price, are you sure you're going to do a good job? It's like, what? So that really opened up my eyes. You know what really opened up my eyes, guys? As I continue to raise my prices over the years and I start to get into certain homes, I would have clients that would ask me, like, when I, cleaning carpets, I used to be like a $20 a room guy. That's like really cheap. And once I start getting into like that $50 a room, I start having clients asking me, Courtney, how do these companies, we see these coupons and we see these signs, how do they go out there and clean carpets for those low prices? And you know what that told me, guys? That basically told me that sometimes the people that you service can be a lot smarter and have a lot more common sense than you do, and you're in business, right? So just because you're in business doesn't mean you have good business sense. You know what I'm saying? So when my clients start asking me that, I started thinking like, man, that means when I was that low price company, that's what they was probably asking other cleaners about me, not saying in general towards me or about me, but I was in that category of those low price cleaners. And that's what those customers were probably asking, how do these guys, charge these prices? And especially when they say, how are they able to charge these prices and be profitable? See what I'm saying? And when your potential clients start saying that, it's like, that should be like a red flag. That should make that little bell and that little light go off in your head. And it really gave me something to think about. So when I moved over into the coaching, which was something new for me. And you know what, guys, funny about the coaching, how I got into coaching, it's nothing, looking back, I never really like saw myself doing it. But what's funny is now I have a lot of my colleagues say, Courtney, you don't realize that you've been coaching. You just haven't been, you never put a value on it. You never put a price tag on it. You just basically been doing it, from the kindness of your heart. But how did I get into getting paid for coaching and mentorship is cleaners reaching out to me from YouTube and asking me, they see me and they see what I do every day. And they want to, kind of follow my footsteps, follow my lead. So that's how I got into it, guys. I had guys, I remember about 7-8 years ago, the first guy reached out to me and he was like, "Hey, Courtney, man, I found his name is Jonathan, and he's still a good follower of mine. He's out in California." And Jonathan called me, and he was like, "Hey, Courtney, hey man, how much would you charge me for a consultation just to talk to you for an hour?" I'm like, "Talk to me for an hour?" And then you know what I said? I was like, "Just give me $100." He was like, "Okay." And then that kind of a snowball effect. I started consulting, and then I started doing ride-alongs. Never saw myself doing ride-alongs. I remember it was a guy out of Florida named Josh. Josh called me one day, and he was like, "Hey, Courtney, hey man, I follow you on I'm sorry, on YouTube, on my Truman hardwood floor. At the time, it was Truman Steamers page." And he said, I see a lot of guys that do the carpet cleaning. He said, "Courtney, I really want to learn this, but I want to do it the right way, and I want to come out and learn from somebody." And he said, "I watch a lot of people that do this, but I strictly want to learn from you." And this is what he told me, guys. I swear, this is what he told me. He said, "If I can't learn from you, I'm not going to do it." And he said, "I was wondering how much you would charge me to come out here and do a ride along." And I was like, at the time, it was new to me, a ride along. You just want to come ride with me? It's like it taking me out of my comfort zone, because actually I never been that person that even like, helpers, working with me. I always like to work by myself. So I had brushed them off. I said, "Well, man, I don't know, man. It's my first time. I've never done this before." That's what I'm telling them. And I said, just let me think about it. So about 2 or 3 days went by. He called me and he said, "Hey, Courtney, this is Josh. And I was just wondering, did you think about it?" And I said, "You know what, Josh? I don't know where to start. I've never done this before. I don't know who you are. I mean, I just don't know, how to even start this." And he said, "Courtney," this is what he said, guys. He said, "Courtney, just to show you I'm serious, I want to send you a picture of my ID and a up-to-date picture of my bank statement." Okay. And guys, let me tell you, at the time, I had never saw that much money, in not to say like on the internet and stuff, but like in a bank account, and I was like, "Whoa, this dude is serious." So I told him at the time, like, "Give me $2,500. And he was like, "Okay, how can I pay it?" In 10 minutes, he sent the money to me. And that's how that started. And then, I started, I stopped, cleaning carpets, and I got into the wood floor maintenance full time, which I've already been doing. And that turned it. And one of my colleagues from Maryland, Brian, he asked me to start the hardwood group. And so a lot of opportunities that opened up for me basically opened up because I just called it like a opportunity in disguise. I didn't go looking for it. It just presented itself to me, like, and other things just continue to happen. And I think that plays a big part of just being a giver. I've always been a giver, as far as I can remember, just being a child. I've always been a giver. But, guys, when it comes to making more money in your business, because this is the thing about being a business owner and being an employee. When you're an employee, you just can't give yourself a raise. You know what I'm saying? But when you're an entrepreneur, business owner, you can give yourself a raise anytime. And what's sad is, as inflation has come into our lives, which is nothing new. Okay. A lot of entrepreneurs don't even realize they have given themselves a pay decrease because their cost of living has gone up, their cost of business is going up, but they're still charging the same, which means they're making profit wise, they're making less money than they were before inflation. And a lot of people don't understand that. But when you have certain people, and then also another one of my students, Miss Megan Perkins, Megan has been a great support system to me, man. She She joined my group about 4 months ago. Then she added two of her employees. Then she flew her and herself and two of her employees out to one of my Omaha classes. Then I just did my Zoom class Sunday. Her and two of her other employees, she had them come on. She has just been such a great support system, and that's the point I'm trying to make, guys. Is you need not only you need people that value you, but this is what even Megan told me. Megan said, Courtney, you know how many classes I have taken, you know how many courses I have done, you know how many mentorship and conventions and all kind of these what they call those shows, like Tony Robbins them do, not expo shows, but those network events. She said, you know how many of these things I have done? I have paid $5,000, $10,000, $20,000. She said one time her and her husband went to like this network event for like a week, and it was like $20,000 a piece. So when I told her, the price of my private group and also my Zoom, my Zoom classes, I do it for, I just did my first one. I did it for $600. And I will say, guys, it was definitely more than I expected. Especially when people are asking questions. I mean, I thought it was going to last maybe 3-4 hours, guys. It was almost 7 hours, and that was with 3 breaks. But I still enjoyed it. And for my first class, I had 22 people. But Megan even told me, she said, Courtney, $600, you're basically just giving it away. So guess what, guys? That was just confirmation that I'm going to raise my prices again. And when you have those type of people, that push you to go out here and be more profitable, be more prosperous, this is how you make more money. See what I'm saying, guys? This is how you make more money, because you have people that are basically telling you what you have to offer is so much more valuable than what you even realize. And this is how we can make more money as entrepreneurs, is put ourselves around people who see the true value in us, and they're not afraid. You see, that's one thing about me, guys. You can't be afraid to tell people what they need to hear, and even sometimes it might not be what they don't want to hear, but it's what they need to hear. And this is how I have gotten to this point in my business, financially, my business being a very prosperous business, because a good friend of mine, Chandler Thompson, he used to always push me and others, to raise our prices. And I remember when I was $30, and I was telling Chandler, ain't nobody gonna pay me $40, $50 a room. And he's so calm with it. He's like, Courtney, okay, all right, well, you keep believing that. And it's just like, the more you hear it, you keep hearing it. It just feeds into you. That's why it's important to really, be mindful of who you listen to on a consistent basis, because the more you listen to the same voice, okay, you hear that, it feeds into you. You become that. And he just kept saying it, man. And look up, I'm charging $75 an area, and I'm not going to say, guys, when you do raise your prices or when you do decide to, charge more, I'm not going to say it's just you just do it. I mean, you do this, you do just do it, but it's not scary. It's not fearful, because the first thing you're going to come to your head, what's the first thing you're going to think? Oh man, they're not going to want to use me. They're going to say I'm too high. But I will say this, for the most part, at least in my experience, that didn't happen. But for the people that you did lose, it didn't matter, because you made it up with the price increase from the people that you didn't lose. So it didn't matter. And that comes from, one thing it took me a long time to understand about working smarter and not working harder. So I just want to say, guys, man, put yourself around people that will push you, people who are not afraid to tell you what you need to hear. Like I say, it might not be what you don't want to hear, but it's what you need to hear. And especially if you want to be more prosperous in your business. And I think all of us should want that. You see what I'm saying? Like, why just give you know, especially now, as you know, in the beginning, you know, you again, you have to give to receive, right? But when you get to a point where people are just telling you how how valuable you are, or what you have is valuable, guys, why sell yourself short? Why, you know, why let that opportunity slip through the cracks when you don't have to? And it's right there, it's right there waiting for you, and you got people telling you, I got it. I got it. It's right here. Okay. I just gave you what you asked for, but I had I had so much more to give you, but you don't even see the value in yourself to get, to get more. And that's what we have to start understanding. Like I said, this doesn't apply to everybody, because a lot of people think they have something of value and they really don't. You hear people say, oh, I know my worth. I know my worth. Like, you look like, bro, you have nothing, that's worth anything, but when you do have something that's truly, valuable and have worth, guys, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, because there's a lot of people out here that don't mind paying because they see the value in it. And also too, remember, it's two sides to everything. If you have something of value and if you're not asking a certain price point to meet that value, you know what that's going to do? That's going to raise a red flag for people that see the value in it. But it's almost like someone have a $50,000 Rolex, okay, that's retail, this value at 50,000, but they're selling it at 10,000. That's going to raise a red flag. It's going to raise some concerns. Okay, is this watch stolen? What's wrong with it? And it's the same thing for business, guys. So, all right, guys, thanks again for watching. Courtney loves to win. I'm about to end my video and get ready to relax for the rest of the day. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.